Hello and welcome to today's video. And today I'm going to be taking through the history and evolution of the hypercoaster. So before we actually start our journey, I must first state what is defined as a hypercoaster. So the definition of a hypercoaster is a roller coaster that reaches a maximum height of anywhere between 200 feet to 299 feet. The first ever hypercoaster was Magnum XL 200 at Cedar Point, which first opened on the 6th of May 1989. Designed by Ron Toomer, Magnum XL 200 was the tallest, fastest and steepest full-circuit roller coaster in the world at the time of opening, standing at 205 feet tall, reaching a top speed of 72 miles per hour and a maximum vertical angle of 60 degrees. Built by the now defunct American manufacturer Aerodynamics, the ride features a long out and back layout full of tall airtime hills and large drops. 5 years later, Arrow would open two new hypercoasters on opposite sides of the globe. These were Desperado at Buffalo Bills Resort and Casino, and the big one at Pleasure Beach Resort. Both of these coasters were also designed by Ron Toomer, with the big one opening on the 28th of May 1994 and claiming the record of the tallest and fastest full-circuit roller coaster in the world, standing at 213 foot tall and travelling at a top speed of 74 miles per hour. However, only these three hypercoasters were ever built by Aerodynamics, and it would only be 2 years before the big one was dethroned of its records. In July 1996, Fuji-Q Highland opened Fujiyama, which stands 259 feet tall and has a maximum speed of 80.8 miles per hour. The ride was built by Japanese manufacturer Togo, and the ride's name, Fujiyama, is Japanese for King of Coasters. However, Fujiyama would be Togo's only hypercoaster, and it wouldn't be until 1999 when the age of the modern hypercoaster would begin. On the 27th of March 1999, Busch Gardens Williamsburg opened Apollo's Chariot, the first ever hypercoaster built by Swiss manufacturer B&M. Though the ride only stands 170 foot tall, its highest drop of 210 feet into the ravine gives it the classification of a hypercoaster. Apollo's Chariot was also B&M's first coaster to use lap bars rather than over-the-shoulder restraints, and would mark the beginning of a wave of B&M hypercoasters, including Silver Star at Europa Park, Diamondback at Kings Island and Shambhala at Portaventura. At the same time of the B&M hypercoaster revolution, the then subcontractors for B&M, Giovanola, opened two hypercoasters a year apart from each other. These were Goliath at Six Flags Magic Mountain in the year 2000, and Titan at Six Flags Over Texas in 2001. While B&M stood tall as the main manufacturer of hypercoasters throughout the 2000s and early 2010s, other manufacturers started to introduce their takes on the hypercoaster. These included American manufacturer D.H. Morgan Manufacturing, who only built 3 hypercoasters between 1998 and 2004, and Swiss manufacturer Intamin, who began selling their mega coaster model to parks around the world, starting with Superman the Ride at Six Flags New England in the year 2000. For many years, B&M and all other manufacturers followed the same formula of creating hypercoasters with long out and back layouts consisting of large camelback hills and overbanked turns. This was until the 1st of January 2016, when German manufacturer Mack Rides opened Flash at Lure Adventure. Flash broke the traditional conventions of a hypercoaster set up nearly 30 years before, being the first hypercoaster to feature inversions. Flash had completely modernised the hypercoaster, and would be the start of a new era for the model. On 13th of July 2018, Energylandia opened Hyperion, a brand new, modernised version of the megacoaster from Intamin. Standing at 252 feet tall and reaching a top speed of 88 miles per hour, Hyperion is still one of the tallest and fastest roller coasters in Europe. Much like Flash, Hyperion also featured a modern layout consisting of an inversion, banked airtime hills, and high-speed low-to-the-ground elements. Also in 2018 was Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point, built by American manufacturer Rocky Mountain Construction. Unlike the other rides mentioned in this video, Steel Vengeance was a complete hybrid conversion of the former wooden coaster Mean Streak, which operated from 1991 to 2016. Steel Vengeance was RMC's first hyper-hybrid coaster, and took the titles of the tallest, fastest and steepest hybrid coaster in the world, and the record for the most airtime on any roller coaster on the planet. So as we can see, hypercoasters have come a very long way from their origins. As of the time of recording, the newest hypercoaster to open around the world currently is Hyperia at Fort Park, a Mack hypercoaster which opened on the 24th of May 2024. Hyperia has a layout drastically different to any other hypercoaster in the world, consisting of a compact layout with large towering inversions and ejector airtime moments seamlessly blending into each other. So as mentioned previously, hypercoasters have come a long way from when they first started, starting initially with simple yet long and drawn out layouts consisting of huge airtime hills and long and large overbanked turns, to featuring high intensity, high speed, low to the ground elements, with also large towering inversions and outer banked airtime hills, and overall just more wacky and different elements that add more variety and intensity to the ride experience. So yeah, that is pretty much the story of the hypercoaster so far. How many hypercoasters have you guys been on, and which one's your favourite? Let me know in the comments down below. So I want to thank you all very much for watching this video, and if you've enjoyed it then please make sure to like and subscribe, and comment what you'd like to see in the next video. Goodbye.